mateys. We're here with Peter and Marie, and we're going to talk. Now, they're the what I call the weekend warriors or the weekend cruisers, because unfortunately, Peter and Marie are still working. This is not good. Not
That's
good
true.
at all. Yeah. Here, Peter, you can take. This is going to be our interview sheet here. Let's start with the boat. What do you got here?
This is a Bavaria 40, 2002. It's got a 7/8 fractional rake, 130 Genoa, full batten main, which at the time was sort of the rake that was very commonplace. Today, the head sails are much smaller, oftentimes self-tacking. So this thing really works. The power comes from the Genoa. It's a production boat. Served me well. Lots of discussion, of course, when you show up, especially under blue water conditions. With the Bavaria, there's always someone who has an opinion. But I'm happy. I got a lot of boat for the money. Bought her new in 2002 in Slovenia. And now I'm in America, so I think there is something to be said about this boat.
Yeah. Now, what kind of engine do you have in there?
There's a Volvo Penta in there. I got the upgraded engine, which has 50 horsepower. The interesting thing is the original design of that engine was for forklifts. So it was a maritime version of a forklift engine. The boat had initially some troublesome problems, galvanic corrosion, stuff like that, but after now going on 16 years, that's all weeded out and well behind me. So.
Well, that comes up to the next thing. How long have you been Now, let me tell you, Peter's got the experience. Marie is getting the good
I've
boating.
got the brains.
Wasn't that
Okay, guys, this is going to be a long interview. All right, so Peter, tell me a little bit about how long you've been boating and how you got into this thing.
Well, probably started as a teenager. My dad, who was born in Yugoslavia, had a power boat that was mostly water skiing. So I got my feet wet then, literally. And then I came to America in '89, had a short experience with my own powerboat here, kind of a pocket cruiser. Too much noise, no offense to powerboaters who will watch this. And then in 2002 came an opportunity. I'm not going to go into details, but this Bavaria, the German product, became affordable because of exchange rates at the time. So I bought this boat new in Slovenia and cruised the Adriatic and the Mediterranean, Croatia mostly because that's the country I was very familiar with, south of Italy, Calabria, Sicily, Malta, Tunisia, Mallorca, and eventually came across here to first into the Caribbean, and then in 2012, 13, I believe it was, up here to the Chesapeake because I live in the area.
Oh, that's great. You got a lot of good experience under your belt.
Yes, I guess, but
yeah,
there's always more.
We're going to do another one on these, on some of the great stories. Yeah, because I know these guys, and Peter's got some very good stories. But now, Marie, you just started sailing when you met Peter?
That's right, in 2015. Yeah, 2015, yeah.
And how do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's home. We're here every weekend for about 9 months out of the year. It doesn't matter what the weather is, we're here. So
I can attest to that. I'm down, I live on my boat. It'll be raining like a son of a gun, and these guys are down here. I love it. So you're not really fair weather weekenders.
No.
You're weekenders.
Yeah. and even sailing in some pretty messy conditions.
Yeah.
I think
good.
Peter decided that I was a keeper when we came back, and it was just like drenching rain, and I was sitting there so
good. Well, so now
I think he was testing me. Let's take her out in the worst weather possible and see if she can handle it.
Hey, and if not, you throw her overboard and find somebody new.
I think that was what it was.
All right, so let me look at my little. Yeah, that's a smart thing. So here on the Chesapeake, now we know you've got some great blue water experience. On the Chesapeake, where do you guys like to go?
Well, there's really two different weekends because my three little girls, 9 years of age, and twins who are 6 now, are here on the boat with me or with us every other weekend. So when the kids are here, we go mostly to places that they like, and they love Baltimore. I mean, that is probably the inner harbor. Baltimore
they can
is
play in the
something
fountain,
they love,
and they have the swan boats.
So that's one of their places. And there are another places up the Chester River, an uninhabited island called Cackleway. It's a privately owned island. They love that. There's swimming there. So we do not do that, obviously, when the weather is real bad. But that would be a weekend thing with the kids. And when we're on our own, well, then it really depends. We like to anchor out, preferably in places that are not too crowded, that are not too noisy, which during the season in the summer around here is not always easy to find. But we have a few places, and I'm not going to disclose them because then you guys are going to show up, and it's going to be noisy. Right? And then during the summer, we went towards the southern part of the bay for a 2-week cruise, 1 week with the kids, and that took us to Crisfield, right on the Virginia border, and to Tangier Island. Visited that place. That was, I guess, for right now, one of the longer cruises we did.
All right.
One of the interesting things about sailing is you can sail for a week, and then you're still within driving distance of going home in a couple of hours, which is what we did.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But that's what we did. We actually sailed from here, from Rock Hall down to Crisfield over the course of several days, and then we rented a car in Crisfield and went and picked up the girls because we can't have them for 2 weeks in a row. We have them every other week. So we went and picked them up, and on the way back down we stopped at Chincoteague Island so they could see the wild horses, and then we spent some time in the harbor in the marina at Crisfield, which is really nice. Really good for crabbing.
Good.
Really good for crabbing.
Good.
I threw in a chicken neck, and they all...
Wow.
We had very quickly I caught a dozen of them, and we had crab that night. It was great.
So what do you guys like most about the sailing life and lifestyle?
I guess, and that's my experience anyways, sailors are, I guess, fiercely independent people and individual people, but at the same token, a fairly close, well, I'm not sure about close-knit, but a community, because you have this common thing. And that's, of course, the boat and being out there in the nature in good or bad conditions. Mm-hmm. So that appealed to me, and no, not so much at the Chesapeake, but especially when I was doing more blue water. What I learned very quickly is there is no one to blame. It's a very, very honest thing that you can do. If something goes wrong, it's your fault. And if something goes right, it's to your credit.
Unless I'm on the boat, and then it's my fault.
And that's why I got her in the first place. Ever since now, if something goes wrong,
it's my fault.
It's her fault. And so if I make a mistake docking and the wood splinters and I crash into it, it's not because I ran in there too fast. The reason was that she didn't get the bow line in time, you know. So that's a benefit of having a woman.
Man, are you going to be in trouble?
Oh no, this is good. This is good. When he was in trouble was when he was yelling at me, and he about pushed him overboard.
Oh, okay, all right. That's how you stop that. Right?
No, it's just like.
So, Marie, now what do you like about this?
One of the things that I really enjoy is how much time I get to spend outside, just being in nature. Mm-hmm. And some of the gorgeous places that we've been anchoring out in the Chesapeake. It's just amazing, and watching the sunsets.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, now let's flip the coin on the other side. what don't you like? If anything.
Well, I mean, what do I...
Paying money for boat repairs.
Can be.
Okay, yeah, paying money for boat repairs.
One thing I really don't like is ever since she's on board, she drills holes in my boat for hooks.
No, I don't.
So-
They're command strips.
After lots of discussion about it, but she always comes in with amenities, and they need to go someplace, and then that kind of distracts.
I have
from,
improved the environment.
That's her version of it.
Yes,
I
have.
say she puts holes in the boat.
No.
So I kind of always shed a tear, or I have to go. To
Have
the
another
bar.
beer.
I go to the bar, and when she's
Yeah.
done drilling holes, then I come back.
Okay. All right, Marie, what do you don't? What are, if there's anything that you don't like?
What do I not like?
There ain't much, is there?
Yeah, he tends to get agitated when things are.
Well, in my defense, I've been single-handing this boat for such a long time, and then and also, and this is probably a big issue, I never really attended formal boating lessons, sailing lessons, so I'm really an auto self.
They don't teach you not to holler in those lessons.
So I
bad
just
news.
do stuff, but I couldn't even explain why I do stuff that way. And now when Marie came, and that was difficult, and I guess to a degree
Doesn't
still is.
communicate well what he wants.
Because I never had to. I just did.
All right, well, now let's go to the next one, the last one here. Any advice for people who are thinking of getting into boating and to trying this? What advice would you have for them?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's first off, I guess what I want to say is it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. I have other things I like to do, but if you took the boat away from me, that that would be, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but that would feel like somebody cuts my leg off or something. So it is a different story. It takes over, and it takes over a lot of things that you do. It costs a lot of money. It can cost a lot of money, especially if you have someone who needs all these amenities.
I'm not the amenities myself.
No.
But yeah, I mean it's a totally.
The amenities like a new sail.
If-
the amenities like working electronic system. That's not my fault.
The amenities of cutting holes in the bowl.
Shut
in the boat.
up! I don't do that.
No, we're on advice now. Advice. Advice. Don't argue.
Well, so
You're gonna argue. I mean,
you're-
if you don't argue, then everybody's just silent and not talking to each other. Right?
Now, if you're really new to this and you want to get into a boat, first thing to do is walk around marinas. Most sailors are friendly folks, so they will give you tons of advice and ask questions, what you want to do, absorb it all, and then forget it and make your own decisions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Marie?
Well, I think it would be a really good idea to take some sailing classes from somebody who really knows what they're doing, so that at least you have somebody that communicates.
Oh, all right. Sorry, guys.
That was a kick in the butt.
No, I think
No,
you're
somebody
right.
that doesn't have, that's not emotionally invested in it.
Right.
Yeah, to just,
an extra,
comfortable around it.
A different set of eyes on it. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right. And what's it? And the final thing?
The final thing.
Yeah, the final thing that I always like to say, guys, it's better to start sooner than later, because time doesn't stop. It just marches on. And this has been a lot of fun.
It surely was.
It is and will continue to be. Well, until next time, guys, happy and safe boating to you, your
My
family, and
glass is
friends.
empty. He's
Oh, wait
the
a
only one that
minute.
has anything.
How did this happen? Well, we have to go get more liquid refreshments. Cheers, guys.
Bye.